Melissa here with TCT Crafts. Today we are going to make an easy fall centerpiece. So we're going to be using this candlestick. I got this candlestick off of Amazon. I'll link it for you, or one very similar. But you can pick these up anywhere. You can pick them up at Walmart, Target, Hobby Lobby, just a candlestick. Let me get the measurement for you guys. You can use any size, but this one is a 12-inch. So that's a 12-inch candlestick. And what I have done to prep this already is I had a leftover patty from the gaps and cracks, the foam, and I just super glued and hot glued this on here. You can use any type of styrofoam, floral foam that you have. You can get it at the Dollar Tree if you don't want to use the gaps and cracks, but this is just a piece that I had, so I just glued it on there and it is not going anywhere. So let's get started. So we're going to be using this pumpkin. It's just a foam pumpkin. I picked it up at Walmart last year. It was $5.98. $5.98 at Walmart. Walmart has some of the best priced pumpkins. If you don't want to use a white pumpkin or this cream color pumpkin, you can use any color that you want. I know that I want my pumpkin, and I'm going to make this facing me, and then I'll just kind of have to show you guys. I want it off to the side just a little. I don't want it sitting straight up. I kind of want it off to the side, and the reason for that is because I'm going to have my bow here, and I'm going to add this other little green pumpkin kind of right there. So when I kind of put this off to the side, like about right there, so I'm just kind of getting where I want to put my dowel. So I'm just going to puncture a hole. I know we don't need that much. Let me find my clippers. Let's kind of cut some of this stick off. Ooh, that went flying. Okay, we still can cut a little bit more off. To get my placement where I like it. I think that's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip this in my glue pot and push it up in my pumpkin. Okay, now I'm going to add some glue on this part, so when we stick it in here, it'll attach nicely. Let's see, my glue pen was giving me fits a while ago. Yeah, it's still not working. I don't know what's going on with that. So we're just gonna have to use, let me see if I can dip it in my, no, I'm gonna use a dowel and just kind of put some glue on it. Okay. So now I'm just going to push that in there. I'm going to hold it for a second. And then we're going to add some floral pins too, just to give it a little bit extra security. So let's see. Let me get this little dowel. I really don't know what's going on with my glue gun. It's not very old, just a couple months old, but it's not wanting to feed the glue through, so I guess I'm gonna have to get me another one. Okay, and then I'm gonna do another one on this side. right in there like add some glue. All in there. Okay. So that should not go anywhere. Now, before we get too far, let's add a little bit of our Spanish moss around the side. So this is just the natural, just the natural color Spanish moss. You can get it at Amazon, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Sometimes the Dollar Tree will have it. So I'm just going to pin a little bit in with these floral pins. So I'm just using these little U-pins. Just going to pin some around the sides. And then at the end, if we need more, we can definitely add more. But we're going to be adding greenery and stuff that should cover up that foam. Just going to add just a little all the way around. Okay. Make sure I got it back to where my front is. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I know I want to add, these are just some leftover little pumpkin picks. I think they came from Hobby Lobby. And I don't like all of the greenery on here, so I'm going to take it apart and we'll use some of it, but I know I want that green pumpkin. So let me take it off and kind of see where I want it sitting. I think right there will be good. I'm just going to dip it in my glue pot. And so we've got our little pumpkin in. Okay. Now, before we start adding our greenery, and I think I'm going to add one more pumpkin too, let's get our bow, because I know I want my bow to sit right in this area right here. So let's go ahead and make our bow. And I'm just going to do a simple bow. You can do whatever kind of bow you like. I'm going to use my Easy Bow Maker just because it's easier for me. And I think I'm going to go about 5 inches. Just because this, I don't want the bow sticking, you know, too far outside of our arrangement here. Okay, so I'm making the loops about 5 inches now, and I think that's going to be a lot better. Scrunch it down. So then we'll make this loop about 4.5. Just about 1/2 inch shorter from the first one. Okay, I think that's going to look better. So we'll save that one for another project. Maybe we'll make something to kind of go with this. Okay. Get our zip tie again. Have to make sure I have my zip tie the right way. So I don't know how many times I put it in there backwards or it won't cinch. Okay, so again, I'm gonna fix these. And then stick our U-pin through the back. And then cinch it tight. Okay, let me cut this off. Okay, I think that's better. So we've got our little bow. And let me get my placement. Yeah, I think right in there looks good. We'll cut these tails in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna actually cut this floral pin down just a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in my glue pot. And stick this right back in there. And then I'm probably, let's take our little dowel here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue right in there, just for some extra support. Okay. And you can also take a little bit of glue if you want, and we could just glue this ribbon right to the back of that pumpkin, just so it will not go anywhere. It'll stay in place exactly where we want it. Let's do it on this side too. So let me so I'm just going to take a little bit of this glue on the back side of this ribbon and just kind of place it. Make sure it's where I want it. Place it right there, and that way it stays where we want it. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Now I know I don't need these tails quite that long, so let's go ahead and make our dovetail. Now these I may leave a little longer because I'm going to curl them. Just kind of curl them. There we go, I like it. So that's what we have so far. Now let's start adding some of our other items. So I know that we're going to add this other green pumpkin. So let's go ahead and take it off. Figure out where I want it. Thinking I kind of want it coming down on the other side of the bow. Let me get my placement. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to dip it in my glue. So we put it right catacornered from this one. So now we've kind of got our little triangle pattern with our pumpkins. Okay, so that's all the pumpkins we're going to add. So now we're going to add some florals and some greenery. And this will be done. These are really simple to make and they're so cute. You can put them on a table, you can put them on an end table, you can put them on a mantle. I mean, there's so many places that you can, buffet table, that you can use these. So I brought in some of these these were from Joann's as part of their fall floral from last year. It's kind of like a coppery color. So we're going to use a few of these. So let me cut off. Let me get some of the bigger heads. Let's start here. Let's take one of the bigger ones. And it's gonna go kind of straight here in the back. Okay, I like that. Just dipping into my glue. So we've added that one right there, just right there in the back. Okay, now let's add one up here by this pumpkin. I don't like the way the stem on this one is. Let's see. Yeah, this one's better. And the floral head's not quite as big for the side there. Okay, so we added one right there next to that pumpkin. And then let's do the same thing on the front over here. I'm gonna get another one of the, let's see. Yeah, that's too big. Let's get another one of the little smaller ones. Get my placement on this one. I think right there will be good. Okay. So this is what we have. We have one right next to this pumpkin. We have one kind of, a bigger one kind of in the back, and then one over here by this pumpkin. Now we're gonna, that's all the flowers, I think, that we're gonna add. Yeah, so now we're gonna just fill in with greenery. In between where we have the flower heads. Now I have some of this from the pick that we took the pumpkin off of. And I like a few of the pieces, but there's some of the pieces I'm not a big fan of. So, I don't like this leaf. It just looks, I just don't like the way that the leaf looks. So that's going in the trash. I do like this one. So keep that. Let's use these pieces. So don't be afraid to cut these. Cut these up. Use what you like. Chunk what you don't. I kind of like the berries. I don't want a pine cone in there, so I'm gonna leave it out. Okay, so chunk that. You don't want to chunk it, save it for something else, but I just don't care for them, so I probably won't use them somewhere else. So again, I'm gonna cut the berries, cutting these little green pieces. So just these little green pieces, and this long piece, we'll keep that. And those. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have like 6 of these little green pieces. I've got 2 little berries and 2 of these. So let's kind of see where I want. I think I want this one kind of hanging down in the front. So I'm just giving it a bend, shaping it the way I want it. Dip it in my glue. Have it coming down right here. So now let's do one opposite here on the back. Okay, I like that. Okay, so we've just got 2 pieces of those. Now, let's see where we want to put our little berries. Thinking right up here in the front. We'll do one by this, yeah, like that. One by the pumpkin. So I just put one of the berries right here by the pumpkin. And let's see, thinking of this side of the pumpkin. So just kind of hugging that pumpkin. There we go. I like it. Looking pretty. Okay, now let's start adding a few of these little pieces. I'm just gonna kind of go, we'll go in between the flowers that we placed. And I'm just gonna, so we went in between this flower and this flower, I stuck one. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna cut this down a little bit because I don't need it that long. Two in this one because we have a little bit bigger of a gap between our florals back here. So this is what we have. I put two right there. Okay, and then we're going to come on this side. We're going to add right here by this pumpkin. So I just added a piece right there. So we have two more pieces. Taking right down towards the bottom. Underneath our pumpkin here. Probably got my serious face on. I noticed when I watch my videos back, I hate watching them back, but you know, I gotta edit some of them a little bit, and obviously I have my ugly serious face on when I'm doing stuff. Okay, all right. So this is what we have so far. So I just added all those little bits. Now we're just gonna start filling in with some more greenery and kind of covering up the places we still see our foam. Look at this glue. Crazy. Okay, so I'm done with my full things. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this one. This is our maidenhair bush. We've got it in two colors. I think this is the dusty green. So it has a little bit of that. It's not quite so bright as the other one. And these are pushers, so I'm just pushing them up a little bit. So let's just start with one. So I'm gonna cut these. Okay. And now I'm going to start going in where I see the foam. Okay, I like that. So I've got a piece right there. Okay, let's see. We're going to add a piece kind of coming up. Let me look. Yes. Okay, right above the flower. to add this piece. So I have it kind of coming up above the flower right there, and now let's add some like right below it. Okay, so we have one above it, one below it. Let's go in between. So I added 2 of these little pieces that we had. I'm gonna go right in between there with this one. Right in between the 2 of those. Okay. We've got 2 pieces left. So I'm going to go right below this little flower bud. So right below. And then I think we need one right here next to the bow. And we have another one of these if we need it, but I want to add our other greenery first, and then we can come back to this one. So we have one more that I want to use. So this is what we have so far. I just went all the way around. We've got a little hole here underneath this pumpkin, but we've got one more greenery that we're going to add. So that should fill in. If not, we will come back with another one of those bushes. So this is our, what is it called? Well, it doesn't have a name on it, so that's not very helpful. I think it's a seeded eucalyptus, I wanted to say, but we have them in the shop. And I like these because they have a little bit of these little like wispy berry looking pieces on them. So I want to use a few of those. And these push as well. One of these, and then we'll see how our coverage is looking if we need to go in with the other maidenhair bush. Okay, so I think on this one I'm going to cut it again. So I'm just cutting it, finding a little spot just so I have this little piece with the little berries. And I'm going to push it right, there we have a little hole right here in between our pumpkins. So I just put it right in that little hole right there. Okay, let's see, about right underneath here in the front. I think these are going to be too long to leave them as one, so we're going to cut these into 2 picks so that they're a little bit smaller. So now we have a little small. Instead of having it this long, we've got 2 little pieces that we can use. So I'm going to take the other part that didn't have the little berries on it and go right below. Kind of tuck it in with this flower. And then let's take another piece and go right underneath by the pumpkin. So I went right underneath. And we have that piece, and then I'm going to go again right there where we have that hole. This time I'm going to use the little piece with the little berries. I call them berries. They're not really berries. I don't know what they are, but little seeds. Okay, that's what we have so far. So now I'm just going to keep going all the way around. Let's add, let's go ahead and cut these again into 2 pieces. Get 2 pieces. So let's just go ahead and do that on the rest of these. Let me see if I want to keep one long for the back. No. I don't think we're going to need our other one because I think with these it's going to give us just the coverage we need. So we can get away with one of each greenery brush, which is good because that'll help keep the cost down. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the piece that didn't have the little seeds on it and kind of put it underneath. So I just put it underneath right there. Okay, we're still working our way around. We got a hole right here. So now I'm going to go in with the one with the little seeds. And I put it right there. And then right next to it, I'm going to go in with the second little piece. So we're just covering up all this foam that we can still see. Got a little hole right here. So let's go in with one of the little seeded pieces now. So I'm just kind of rotating, alternating. Okay. I want to go right below this pumpkin so it doesn't look like it's just hanging out in the corner of the party by itself. Okay, and then let's get one of the seeded. And I'm going right up underneath. So just right underneath this pumpkin. Let me look. I think we are looking pretty good. I'm going to put one more piece right here in the front. Just kind of hanging down a little bit underneath our bow. There we go. And then maybe one piece, if I can get it kind of tucked in. Let me see if I like it. Yeah, I do. Okay. So let me see if I can get it one that has a little bit longer of a stem. And I'm going to try to tuck it right. There we go. And let's do this piece right up here. Just to cover that. Make sure I'm hitting the phone. There we go. So there we go. I just kind of tucked it right in here around kind of where these 2 pumpkins meet. Got one little piece. We got to add it. We just can't leave it. So maybe right in the center of the bow. Yeah. Okay, so now let me re-roll my tail since I messed it up while we were designing, and then we'll flip it around. Take off some of the glue. And this is what we have. So I think it turned out super cute, really pretty. All the way around it looks nice, so no matter where they put it, although this is the front, but if you're sitting on the other side of a table or something, it still looks beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Till next time. Bye, guys.